Hello there, World of Takers. Welcome to the channel. I'm of course your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be playing in this Tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror. Now, the name of this vehicle sounds fantastic. I'm gonna conquer the hill. Unfortunately, the vehicle itself does have some major downsides, and the biggest one is the armor. I mean, I can show you it right off the bat. This is the armor. This is an Emil 2 aiming at the Conqueror. It has 252 millimeters of standard pen, and that is exactly what we're using. And as you can see, the upper plate, it's actually not bad. I mean, if you're using the 7 degrees of gun depression, that upper plate becomes quite thick. Against heat shells, it's 345. So you actually can get quite a few bounces on that upper plate. Unfortunately, on flat ground, yeah, you're really not expecting it to get any. The turret cheeks are only 170 millimeters thick. Yes, you heard that right. 177 thick. Which means that you're not going to bounce anything. I mean, I can easily go get out a tier 7. Let's just get out a tier 7 medium like the Leo. And a Leo with premium ammo can pen a tier 9 heavy tank turret. I don't even get it. The lower plate as well, you can see, is massively weak, only about 115 millimeters thick. And the side armor as well is quite atrocious at only about 53 millimeters on flat angle. I mean, again, you're really not going to be getting any bounces on the side of this vehicle. And the rear at, yeah, 40. It's just, the armor is the big, terrible part of this vehicle. It really doesn't have any. But to make up for it not having a lot of armor, it has a fantastic gun. This is the same type of gun you'd find on the Tortoise. Now, unfortunately, it does not carry that same incredible DPM, but the damage per minute is still 2,500, which makes it one of the highest for a Tier 9 heavy tank. The dispersion at 0.303 is outright fantastic, and the aiming time at 2.8 seconds makes this gun probably the best Tier 9 heavy tank gun in the game. As well, it's got very good standard pen at 272, and the premium at 342. I mean, it literally butters through armor, especially with its Hess shells with 132 millimeters of pen and 515 damage per shot. 7 degrees of gun depression is plenty to work any hill, and with its average speed of 32 kilometers per hour, because this thing actually boasts a really solid power to weight ratio, it can actually get in the position quite quickly. So the mobility of the tank is good. The DPM is fantastic. The actual gun itself is probably the best for a Tier 9 heavy. It's just the armor. I mean, it doesn't have any. Thankfully, this is a Tier 8 game, and we should easily be able to beat Tier 8s, judging that we do have quite a bit more hit points on them, which would make sense. Now, you'll also notice that this vehicle is prone to having the super speed boost, which is pretty nice. So right now we got 2,300 hit points because I am running sandbag armor, and with super speed boost on, we're going 40 kilometers per hour here. I mean, it's not the fastest, you'll notice, but it gets you in the position quite quickly. I just like that massive acceleration. So here we go. Speed and power is key. I was hoping that guy wouldn't ram into me, but there we go. We got a Pantera off to the side back there. He did spot me, but thankfully there is nobody shooting me yet. This is a good spot right here to detect any enemy tanks, but I'm going to be a little bit worried. I mean, they do have an ISU 152, which could easily end my battle in, well, not end it, but, you know, take off a pretty big chunk of my hit points from one standard shell. So we got the Emil 2 off to the side. We got the Tiger 2 off to the side. Maybe we can get a shell into the Tiger. Oop, there's a VK, and boom, 511 damage, because, as I said, this thing carries massive Hesh. I mean, you can easily see where that Hesh just cuts right through armor. I mean, there's a Tiger 2, and boom, right into the Tiger 2's turret, because this thing obviously carries fantastic pen. So this Tiger 2, he's really not enjoying my company probably all too much. I can't really hit him yet, but if he just pokes a little bit or reverses, he's going to be penned, and there you go. Nice penetration once again into that Tiger. So we've already taken a pretty sizable chunk off of that vehicle. Now I am going to put on my adrenaline, but it seems like that's not going to help me all too much. Let's get a nice tap into that ML2 though. He is not liking the damage all too much, I bet. Let's reload again, and let's see if we can get another nice tap into his vehicle. And wow, we actually got a bounce? That is very surprising. You guys saw the armor. I mean, I did not lie about the armor profile. It really doesn't have any. But, again, does have very nice Hess shells. Wow, that guy bounced my side as well. Enemy team is surprisingly getting a lot more bounces than they probably should. Now, as I did say, the armor on the tank is not bad. I mean, you can get bounces on the actual hull. It's just the turret. It's supposed to be like the 2 and 5B in my opinion, where it's good at hull down. But it just doesn't do good at hull down, which kind of sucks. But what I find really weird is the enemy keeps shooting my upper plate. You can see we got one right there on the upper plate, and because of that, they're obviously not actually penning my vehicle. We got that Tiger off to the side, and because I like getting my sweet damage out, we'll get a nice shot into him. This RU-251 should be able to finish him off, although please don't do that, my RU-251. We need to squeeze past here. Nice shot into the Tiger 2, and let's keep on moving forwards. We do have speed boost, which is great. Kind of ram that RU. I feel kind of bad. But, yeah, we got speed boost, which is going to get me right into position. There's an ISU, and again, Hesh straight for the vehicle. I mean, that is what Hesh can do. 130 millimeters of Hesh pen is honestly fantastic. You just take it for granted until you start using it. It really is so nice. Now, there's that T-34-3. Sadly, we do have a damaged Amarak, which is not going to help me all too much in getting damage out, but maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get a nice tap into the T-34 or not. We don't have that gun depression, which is one downside, I should say, but boom, there you go. Nice tap for 350 damage, and all that's left is the enemy Pantera. No clue where the Pantera is, but we're going to try and find him, I guess. We got 23 seconds left until I'm able to get my repair kit back. What's funny is this kind of goes right into my video I made earlier about why speed boost isn't always fantastic, is because if you're running an equipment loadout like me, where you're running 2 consumables and then 1 normal reactive, or repair kit, should I say, unfortunately that means that I have to wait a long time to get my gunner back. But boom, there you go. Our gun is back in normal working condition. Now, I have no clue where that Pantera would be. I would expect the Pantera to be somewhere over here, judging that, well, nobody spotted the Pantera off to that side of the map. So maybe somewhere in the corner over here. I mean, I actually have no clue. This guy has surprisingly stayed under the radar. Oh, there you go. I figured the guy was sitting somewhere in the back. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that guy. I mean, this tank, we do have speed boost on. We're going about 40 kilometers per hour, but we also got like that IS-6 over here. Come on, speed and power. Let's go. Speed and power. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. And yeet. No, I can't believe I messed that shot up. That sucks. Either way, I mean, this is a pretty solid battle. We did over 4,000 damage, and it very easily showcased the strengths of this vehicle's gun. It's fantastic. As you saw, we easily cut through the side of that VK-45 twice with Hesh. That was 1,057 damage in 2 shots. I mean, that's fantastic. We shot a Hesh shell onto the lower plate at ISU, low-rolling it for 475. We could have easily penned the side of the 34-3 with Hesh, and, I mean, same for the Pantera. You saw we literally penned the entire front and sides of that vehicle when we were trying to pen our shot. So, that is fantastic about the vehicle, and surprisingly, we actually got quite a few bounces there, but don't take that for, don't take that for the actual armor. I mean, that was very lucky. Normally in this tank, I mean, you can get bounces on the upper plate. As you saw, it actually has very strong upper plate armor. A lot of people don't know while we're actually waiting to load into battle. The upper plate on this tank is exactly the same as the tier 8, being the Conqueror. It's the exact same armor. You can see 252, and when we go up to tier 9 and we click on the same vehicle, 245. It's actually weaker, but it's actually the same hull. That's what the Conqueror is. It's a Conqueror hull, but with a much, much weaker FV2 and 5B turret mounted on it. So that's a fun fact for you about the Conqueror. But it still surprisingly works very well against tier 8s and tier 9s. You will get bounces hull down. It's just, if any smart player's up against this vehicle, they shoot right at the turret cheeks, and every time, I mean, 170 millimeters, oh, it's so bad. I mean, just to put, again, in a comparison here, if we go back to the Conqueror, which is the tier 8 on the line, I mean, even the Conqueror's turret is actually stronger. You can see it's got more gun depression, and look at this turret compared to the tier 9's turret. I mean, it's way worse. There you go. And then, of course, oh, this is a Leo. Sorry. This is a tier, I didn't realize. That's better. That's a better comparison. Then let's get at the Conqueror here. I mean, you can see there's actually quite a bit more red on this turret, and obviously you can use more gun depression. It's just, why? Why is the turret so much weaker? But either way, let's wait to load into a battle. Wow, actually we loaded right into one. I was very surprised. Normally it takes like 8 years, judging that it is 2:20 in the morning. Either way, let's see what we got up against us. We got an M6Yo, an STV1. Wow, that whole lineup is just death for this vehicle. I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't do well, I'm fully expecting to not do well. I don't have reactive armor on this tank. I will say it does have a pretty beefy chunk of hit points. I mean, sitting at 2,300 is quite nice, especially judging that, you know, I can out-trade sometimes tier 9 heavies. Judging, or not tier 9, tier 10 heavies. Oh my god, I was trying to type to this guy and drove into a wall. You gotta be kidding me. That Mark 6 is going to get right up into that and probably snap a shell into me. I need to go quickly, like now. Go, 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 go. Alright, thankfully we are into position. Alright, we're all good so far. But as known, the armor on this tank is not going to work too well, so we got to be careful here. There's the enemy T-95E6 off to the side. Maybe we can get a nice tap into his vehicle. There we go. 388 damage. I'll take it. That was a pretty nice snap, if I do say so. But that's just what you got to do with this vehicle. I mean, as we went over, it has no armor. So you really have to use the gun to its advantage. There's the T-92E1. Nice tap into his vehicle for 450. And now we're going to slowly back up. I can't believe that guy was actually shooting at me. That was an awful, awful shot. There's the 50 TP, and, well, there's my gun depression not working for me, and I thought we might just be able to snap a shell into that E3, but that's a big fat no from that aspect. So we do have a lot of tanks off to the side, actually, which is nice. I mean, that's going to mean that we got some really good support, and there's the STB. Nice tap into his vehicle. As I did say, you can be very easily out-trade opponents, but, well, as you can see, we also got tapped right back by that T-95E6. Maybe we can get a nice Hess shell into the STB. Boom! 525. That's what I'm talking about. Again, there is that Hesh just slapping straight through the enemy armor. Let's aim it on that STB's Q-Plup, and just like work, it goes straight through. So we're doing pretty good this game. I mean, we're not doing amazing. We've done okay, though. We've gotten some pretty solid damage out so far. And I'm going to try and push off to the side here. I'm thinking maybe we can get some shells into, like, the side of this 50 TP prototype here. So let's try that, aiming in a Hesh shell, and yeet! There you go. Didn't really do all too much because, well, it was kind of pointless at that area. But we're still doing okay. I mean, I can't really complain. We got that Chieftain Mark 6 off to the side. Maybe we can aim in a Hesh shell on his engine deck. There you go. 503 damage there. You can just see how nice Hesh actually is. It just pens every time. Not only does it pen every time, I mean, look, this is a Mark 6. Boom. Hesh shell. 559 damage on that guy. And then we just back into cover. I mean, that's it. It's just so nice to out-trade enemies with this gun. So let's see what we got left here. We got the M6 show, actually. Let's get a Hesh shell into his tank, or not. Unfortunately, my IS-4 rammed me, which kind of screwed my damage. I will say that was a bad shot for me in the end, but yeah, my IS-4 still kind of rammed me there. So let's see if we can get a shell into the Yo this time. There you go, and a fire finishing him off. So, this might not have been the best game, but it still was a fantastic battle to showcase that the Conqueror still is a very capable and solid vehicle. The armor is non-existent. You saw just for a little snippet that E6 and as well the STB went right through the turret. But while it did not fare too well against the armor, the gun worked like clockwork. Unfortunately, that IS-4 did ram me when we were trying to aim in. I was wondering where the heck my turret was, but yeah, unfortunately that IS-4 did ram me when we were trying to get one shell into that Yo, so we probably actually could have done about 4,000 that game, but either way, I really can't complain. Two very solid battles for a pretty solid tank. I have to learn, at least for myself, that I need to stop doubting tier 9s and tier 10s in the game sometimes. The Conqueror has always been a vehicle I've looked down on, and I've always thought it's a bad vehicle. And I bet there's a lot of people that watched today's video and probably thought that I was going to say that. And even when I made my original video on the Conqueror about 5 or 6 months ago, I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it. But surprisingly, I did. The gun is just so incredibly nice. You might be thinking that I'm actually running refined gun, but I'm not. I'm actually running vertical stabilizers. It's just that good. 0.303 on the dispersion. It's such a fantastic gun. And that Hesh, I mean, you saw me even cutting through tier 10s easily with that Hesh shell. I mean, we got the M6 show, we got the Chieftain Mark 6 twice, one in the lower plate and one on the engine deck. We got one on that 50 TP, even though it didn't obviously roll what I wanted it to, it still did pen his vehicle's turret. And we got one on that STB-1. That was all in one battle. Hesh is so underrated, and man, can you get some incredible games. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's battle, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below.